let's say you're in a classroom and you got 30 kids in the classroom and they're going to vote who's the tallest kid or the best kid or the funniest kid. They're going to vote on something, right? And everyone does their vote. They write on their little piece of paper. They all go up and they stick it in the box. And then the teacher takes the box and she leaves the room. And the teacher comes back and says, George won. George's the funniest kid. George gets the basket of candy. And everyone goes, George won? Really? George ain't funny. George don't even talk. George does nothing but sit there and chew gum and pick his nose. How is George the funniest kid? I don't get that. But teacher said that's the way it was. I guess that was the vote. The question is, how do you know? You don't, because the votes weren't counted in front of you. You couldn't see that. You couldn't do an audit on the vote, right? Nothing. You have to take teacher's word for it. That's what happens when you vote electronically. You go up, you click on the little screen, or you check it off on the paper and you feed it into a computer. Either way, it goes into a computer. At that point, you go home and you wait for the teacher, or was it Mrs. Crabtree, to come and tell you who won. You have no idea. You have no way of knowing. So what you need to get away from is electronic voting, and you need to get back to voting the old-fashioned way, where your newspapers are right there watching the vote. Remember those newspaper guys when they used to be newspaper guys, right? And
When
not
they saw the hanging chads.
yeah. You don't remember that? That's what it needs to get back to. Now let me ask you a question. Does it matter how quickly you know who won? Is it going to make a difference to you whether you know tonight or tomorrow or next week or 2 weeks down the road? Is it going to have a giant effect on your life? I think, and it's safe to say for 50% of Americans, no. For 70%, no. 90%, maybe a little bit. Maybe they're playing stocks or something like that. But I think for the most part, it's not going to make a difference. I know it's not going to make a difference in my life. So speed is really not of the essence. Because whether you tell me today or 2-3 weeks from now, I've got a president in the meantime. The government's not going to fall apart because it took 3 weeks. I mean, heck, go back to the beginning. People voted, and what happened? It took them months to figure it out, right? Not a problem.
We don't even get our soldiers' votes within a month, so we've already decided the election.
Yeah, and think about this, too. This is a little side thing here. How is it that before the polls are closed in California, we already declared a winner? How does that happen? I've got all these precincts that haven't reported yet. I've got the possibility of anything going on. I've got no verifications happening anywhere. I'm taking everyone's word for it that this is what's going on. And before the people in Hawaii even get up the chance to even cast a vote, it's already over. Think about that.
Politicians concede before it's over as well.
I think they have the old crystal ball, you know? Remember Madame Marie from that Bruce Springsteen song?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they busted Madame Marie for telling fortunes better than they do. I think she now works with the government over there in the elections board. So I think the idea is, lesson learned here, I don't need to have the answer right away. It doesn't have to be fast. It needs to be accurate. It needs to be correct. And it needs to be above reproach. And to do that, I have to have confidence in it, which means get away from computers, get back to actually counting votes, and let those local newspapers and let the local representatives and let the people in to watch what's going on. Let us see those votes and see them counted once, counted twice, counted 3 times. And if it takes you 2-3 months to get it done, no problem. I want it right.